Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm really excited for tonight's Zoom personally. Number one, because I'm not doing it and I get to learn from my beautiful friend, and also because this is like a really great topic that I think is very much needed. So I'm going to do a little introduction for Asia, and then I'm going to hand it over to her and let her do her magic. But first of all, just to kind of introduce her so you guys know who she is. I'm sure you've seen her name pop up often, especially in the team page, but she joined in August of last year. So what's that been for 8 months? Yeah, 8 months. She's silver and is now working on gold. She will be there by summer, I'm convinced, her and her business partner both. And she reached got up to almost 2,000 PV last month, and she was on the leaders board that corporate sent out, and she was in the number 4 spot out of 450,000 ambassadors, actually more than that, for new preferred customers. So she is very knowledgeable in this topic, and I think we're going to learn a lot from her. But I'm going to turn it over to her and let her talk about how she gains customers and how she maintains them, and what she's done differently from what she used to get her PV so high. So, all right, I'm excited. I'm going to be taking notes. I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to flip it over to you, friend.
Awesome. Okay, so like Rachel said, I'm Asia. Just forewarning, I talk a lot with my hands, so that's going to be something you're going to see tonight. I have a list of things that I kind of specifically am going to be going over. Some of them are obvious that, you probably have heard before that you should do. But I'm going to just be proving to you that doing these consistently, it's going to improve your business dramatically. So this list I had to really sit down and think about, because some of the things that I did last month weren't even an intentional thing. And so I'm really excited to share these with you. My first thing that I want to talk about is something that happened at the end of February and is going to just continue happening. Accountability partner. Me and my power partner, Caitlin, at the end of February, we're sidelines to each other. We were talking more and more with each other. We were reaching out to each other more, building a relationship. And in my head, I knew that I wanted to further this business relationship with her, but I really didn't know how to go about it. Luckily, she reads my mind all the time. She read my mind then. She approached me and actually said, hey, I love the way you do business. I love the way that we communicate to each other. How would you feel about combining team pages? At the time, we both had our own team pages. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a really awesome thing. And so we kind of did like a trial, thing. We combined our team pages, and it kind of just exploded after that. I think the unity that both of our teams, even though our teams, what we do doesn't affect each other financially or points-wise, the unity we have really does. It motivates us, it pushes us, and having somebody to lean on has done something for me that I never imagined would actually do. And I'm pretty sure Rachel can vouch for that. She has Ashley. So that is something that is just been phenomenal for me. And I'm pretty sure I hope Caitlin feels the same way about me. Something else that I did that I kind of had already started doing, but I wasn't really, I didn't really pay attention to it, was I set a PV guideline for myself. Something that I started out small and got to a bigger goal. I read somewhere that people are more successful when they set up small goals that lead up to a bigger goal. When you hit those small goals, it motivates you to keep pushing until you get to that bigger goal. And so on my whiteboard, you can't see it, but on my whiteboard, I have a list. And so, or I have a little bar. And so it starts out at 250 PV, 500 PV, 750 PV. And so every time I hit one of those marks, I mark it. And that's a goal that I've accomplished. And I've already hit I'm almost to 300 PV, but just from the 7 Days of Slim challenge. So that's amazing in itself. But that's something that I've been telling my girls to do is, even if you don't have a whiteboard, get a piece of paper for your goals at the beginning of the month and set out small goals leading up to your big goal, because that is going to really motivate you. When you hit those small goals, you're going to feel accomplished. And that has helped me a lot, and it's helped most of my team a lot, the ones that actually do take advantage of that. Something else that I did that I kind of been doing since December, but I've been doing more recently, is reaching out to my past customers, ones that have canceled orders in the past from 2016. I personally sent out personalized Christmas cards to each and every one of them this past year. And I made them personal to each and every one of them. I can see Sam like freaking out. So I sent out personalized ones, and it was such a big hit. Not every single one of them reordered again, like right off the bat. But they had told me that it made them feel like they were not a paycheck. And that's something that Sam and I were actually talking about the other day. You want to make sure that your customers do not feel like a paycheck. You need to make them feel like they are part of your life. Because at the end of the day, that is what this business is about building relationships. And so some of them ended up ordering like last month. And so it took them a while, but they came back. And the ones that, the word of mouth, I had people actually send me people saying, hey, this is the person that I went through before. I can't financially do it anymore, but I know that you would benefit from it. So that really, that really stood well with them. I made them feel important. And that wasn't even my intention when I sent the cards out to have them come back. I honestly just wanted to voice my appreciation for their support. And so that's something I'm going to be doing from here on out, is just doing little things like that for past customers, current customers. And, and even with my team building, I want that to be something that separates me from bigger corporations, bigger things. They come to me when they could go to Walmart. Walmart's not going to send them a Christmas card. And I want that to stand out. I want them to feel appreciated. I also send out little personal emails and stuff too. So that's something that I do. I feel like that's something that I would appreciate as a customer. So this next one is something that is very obvious, and I feel like it should be obvious. But when I talk to, when people come to me asking for advice, I feel like it's something that's really not being done. And that is consistently reaching out and following up. I've had a few people reach out to me, ask me, what do you do? And I said, well, how many people are you reaching out to a day? Well, maybe one or two here, there. I'm like, okay, well, who are you following up with? Oh, I don't really follow up that much. And I'm like, okay, well, these are things that are really going to improve your business. I mean, they're very simple things. It's very, very simple to reach out to people. I know it's scary. It's very scary. But something that Emily Roberts said that when I first joined, I didn't really appreciate it until recently, is that you should not be ashamed of what you do. Have no shame in what you do. And I mean that, because you're doing something amazing. You're helping people with their health. You're helping people with their wellness. You're helping people with their financial goals. So this isn't something to be ashamed about. This is something to embrace. I say a lot, and I apologize. Following up is something else that is very key. One of my ambassadors underneath me, she is amazing. All of them are amazing, but she has been following up like a boss. She has had so many people join for the 7-Day Slim Challenge because of her following up. And I think that's amazing in itself. And I love that she actually does that. And it's just amazing. So if you're not reaching out as much as you should, if you're not following up, I would definitely start with that, because that's something that's going to really put a dent in your business. Something else that I did last month that was unintentional. I did not mean to do this. I didn't know. Well, I mean, I did need to do it, but I didn't know it was going to be as it is. I had done a before and after picture of me, and I didn't even mention Plexus. I posted a picture of me, I think at my bachelorette party, and then a picture of me recently. And it's like a 70-pound difference. And I kind of was just expressing how proud I was of how far I've come and the choices that I've made. And, I got the typical responses that I usually get, people being proud of me and people supporting me. But I was trying to think of ways to expand my market. And something that I did was I asked my husband, I said, hey, are you okay if I tag you in this post and I make it public? And he was like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. I wanted to see if that would make a difference. And I definitely don't suggest doing it all the time, because you definitely don't want to spam your significant other's Facebook. But it's definitely something to consider every now and then. So I didn't just randomly tag him though. I went in and I edited the actual post itself. And at the very bottom, I said, I also want to extend the love to my husband for being such a support this last year and yada, yada, yada. And then that gave me an excuse to tag him. So I tagged him in it, made it public. I had like 7 or 8 friend requests within an hour. I had 2 people order triplex within that day. And I have 2 more potentials that I'm building a relationship with since then. So that in itself was something. So I think that's something I'm going to do monthly, just because it did expanded my network, not from just my newsfeed, but to his newsfeed as well. And so now he even has people who have seen my posts through his Facebook who reach out to him asking me for my info. So that is pretty awesome. But like I said, definitely don't do it very often because that will come off salesy and not genuine. Something else that I do that I at first was kind of skeptical about doing was tagging my new customers in thank you posts. I was kind of skeptical about doing that at first, but after a couple times, I had customers saying that it motivated them when I did that because then it showed their newsfeed that they were doing something with a new journey. And then it also expanded my network to their newsfeed. I try not to do, if I have quite a few in a day, I try to stick it to just 2 thank yous in a day, and then I'll just do it another thank you the next day because you don't want to really overload your Facebook with a ton of thank yous. But I've definitely gotten a lot of good feedback with that. You just have to be careful with how you do the post. I keep it very short and simple. I express my excitement for them, and I just, I simply say thank you and that I appreciate their support and that I'm excited to be on this journey with them. That is something that has really done wonders for me getting PV, because then people see that people are actually buying from me too, and then it makes them more apt to trust me, saying, oh, she clearly knows what she's doing. So that has been really awesome for that. I've always done that, but this last month I've been consistent with it, and that has really helped me. Something else that I did, in-person marketing. And what I mean by that is meeting somebody and just building a relationship with them right then and there and casually bringing Plexus into the conversation. I highly suggest doing this. And the reason why I suggest doing this, it is a very scary thing, The reason why I suggest doing this is because if you can develop an in-person relationship, you can develop a relationship through social media. Social media will no longer scare you with building relationships because it will be nothing compared to in-person marketing. That is terrifying in itself. So I highly suggest at least trying it out. It's very awesome being able to be face-to-face with someone and talking about Plexus, being able to see their face and hear their voice and see their reactions. And then them being able to see you is also very validating for them. So that's something that I personally did a lot this last month. I met a lady in the vitamin aisle at Walmart. I wasn't even looking for vitamins because I don't need to at Walmart. But I was with my sister-in-law and my son, and we just happened to go into Walmart, and I was like, let's go to the vitamin aisle. Met a lady who was looking for a probiotic, and she looked terrified. She was just like, because there's so many options. And so I kind of just stopped and I just made the comment. I was like, yeah, there's a lot to choose from, huh? I said, do you need help? She's like, do you work here? I'm like, no, I just know probiotics. So that is something awesome to do. And it really builds your confidence, it builds your people skills. And I really liked doing that last month, and I look forward to keep doing it. Something else that I did was I got an idea from Steph Barron. Her and Sam did a 3-day workshop, which was phenomenal, and I loved it. Steph had said that she went through and unfollowed all her Plexus friends. And at first I was like, wow, that's mean. But no, she made such a good point with it. We are not her market. And if we're like clogging up her news feed, then those are the only posts that she's going to interact with. And so those are the only people that are going to see her posts. And we're not her market. So it makes no sense to do that. So she had said, she's like, as much as I love you guys, I went in and I unfollowed all of you. She's like, I checked back in with you, but I unfollowed you. And so I started doing that, and I started seeing new people popping up on my newsfeed. So I thought I'd take it a step further. I'm sure that most of you on your newsfeed, you have a ton of friends who it's just, it works, it works, it works, it works. I decided to go through and unfollow all my It Works friends. And the reason why I did that, I don't unfollow Unique, I don't unfollow LuLaRoe, because they're still my market. They don't do a company that's like mine. I went through and I unfollow all the companies that are like mine, because they're not my market. And because I started doing that, because theoretically, you should be flipping your Facebook daily. I am very guilty of this. I flip my Facebook maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe every 3 or 4 days, because I get so busy. And so I wanted to figure out a way that I could start bringing in newer people to my Facebook whenever I had a busy day and I couldn't flip my Facebook. So I started unfollowing, people that I would see in my newsfeed. If they were an It Works person, I would just unfollow them. And I started seeing newer people popping up into my newsfeed, and people that weren't part of a company, people that I've never interacted on their posts before. And so because they were popping up onto my newsfeed, I was now able to interact. And after interacting for, a while, I started seeing them interacting on my posts. And so I knew that they were finally seeing my posts. And that is a big deal. If people cannot see your posts, then there's no point. So that was something that I did. I really liked Steph's suggestion of that, but I really wanted to take it a step further. So that was something that I did that I really thought was a good choice on my part, because I started getting, new customers because new people were seeing my posts. I do subliminal plexus posts. You don't want to overload you don't want to do plexus vomit, but you want to insinuate plexus without actually saying it or being obvious. So that's something I do. I've built a pretty strong brand, and one of Rachel's videos says there's no right or wrong brand, there's only a strong or weak brand. So if you have not branded yourself, I highly suggest doing that, because that is going to be a big deal. But because I've developed a strong brand and people associate things to me without me even having to say it, I do subliminal messages within my fitness posts, within my posts with my son, within posts of going to the park, and I never mention plexus. But I get people who will see a post and message me and say, hey, I just saw your recent post. So what is this plexus stuff? And I'm like, what post? I haven't even posted a plexus post today yet. So I would definitely develop a strong brand and work your way into subliminal posts, because then you're able to market without really marketing. And that's something that another thing that I really liked doing last month that really helped my PV.
I call that ninja marketing, Asia.
Huh?
I call it ninja marketing.
Yes, it is. It really is. Yeah. So I really liked that. Something that okay, so my last 2 things that I want to touch base on are things that I had seen within my team that I did when I first started with Plexus that I didn't realize were really a big problem with why I wasn't going anywhere. And so, I've addressed it with a lot of my teammates, a lot of my downlines, and with that, the ones that are actually taking into consideration what I said, their businesses are improving, and I'm super excited for them. So you want to be careful with what you post. It's not exactly what you post, it's how you post it. You can have 2 of the same posts with the same information, but one is a very eye-appealing graphic that you personally make, and then another one is a very, glittery, Pinteresty post. And you don't think that it is, but choosing the one that's from Pinterest is really going to damage your business because it's very salesy. And that's something that we don't want to associate. We don't want people to associate Plexus with salesy. We really do want to stand apart. We are not, you see other companies on your Facebook and it's just emojis, and then the same image that has been shared like 100 times. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad that I unfollowed a lot of those people because I just did not like seeing it it wasn't genuine, it wasn't original. And we all share each other's posts, but you always have to make it personal to you. If you like a picture, do it with a script that's your own. If you like a script, do it with a graphic that's your own. Kind of just, make it your own. And not only, okay, so this is the last thing that I'm really going to touch base on because this is something that I feel a lot of people don't realize. It's not just your Plexus posts that you should be considering. It's your personal posts. People are going to see your personal posts and it's going to affect your business. So if you're sharing images that are inappropriate, or if you're sharing videos that are inappropriate, or if you're talking about being in a bad mood all the time, or being tired all the time, or just, like 1 second you're saying, I'm tired, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then the next minute you're like, are you exhausted? Do you need Plexus Slim? They're not consistent with each other. Your Plexus posts should be consistent, but your personal posts should be consistent with your business. I'm not saying that you can't be who you are. You should always be genuine. You should always be who you are. But you need to realize that your social media is a platform for your business. And it's either going to improve your business or it's going to run you into the ground. And so that's something to really consider. Because I post funny memes all the time. And there's always inappropriate videos that I want to share with my husband. But I tag him in it. I don't share it to my page and then tag him. There's a way to share with people. And if you did not attend the 3-day workshop with Stam and Seth, you should have because they touched a lot on this. But pretty much that's it. I care about my customers. I really do. And I appreciate every single one of them. And I let it show. It's really not just a paycheck for me. Yes, I love being able to stay home with my son. I love being able to have a business that allows me to do that. But I wouldn't be able to if I truly didn't care about the people that I was selling to. And I don't even like saying selling, because it makes it seem like, a paycheck. So it's really about helping people. It's really about, we say it all the time, building relationships. And, I wish that I had some magic thing that I did last month that made me almost 2,000 PV. But at the end of the day, it's just about actually being genuine and caring. If you do that and you consistently do it, trust me, the PV will start rolling in because people will you'll establish trust with people. And I talked to Sam about this earlier. Trust is a very big deal to me. When people trust me, I take it very seriously and I take it very to heart because that's something that is a big deal. When you lose trust in somebody, that's a big deal. It makes you feel awful. So when I gain trust from a customer, I passed, there was 3 customers last month that I could have had in my PV. I could have been over 2,000 PV, but I didn't because they were looking for something that I honestly didn't think that Plexus could give them. They were, one of those people that wanted to lose 25 pounds in a week. And I wasn't going to sit there and lie to them just to earn PV. But one of them did come back. So this month, she's taking my recommendations, into consideration because she trusts my judgment. And so just be genuine, just build relationships. It may not come this month, it may not come next month, but trust me, if you are consistent and people do see that you care, this business is going to be good for you. It's going to be good to you. And so I don't know, I wish I had more to say, but in all honesty, that's what I did. And that's what I'm going to continue to do.
You're amazing. That's awesome. Let me flip this back over real quick. Thank you. First of all, that was, if you saw me like laughing over here, I wasn't laughing at you. I'm laughing because I'm just like, that's amazing. She's amazing.
The whole time, I'm just seeing Sam doing this.
Like, she's amazing. And I'm like, I know. I'm just laughing over here because she's that amazing. And she's like, I know, I see you. So thank you. I took a lot of notes. I loved all of this. And I love some of the unique things that you brought to this and the way that you phrase. I wrote it down. It's not what you post, it's how you post. I can't tell you how many times I've said that, but the way that you said that, I was like, that's it. That's what it is. So I really appreciated the time. And do you have time for a couple questions by chance?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, everybody, you can type your questions in. There's like a chat on here. Look for it, type it in, and we can answer that. But while y'all are thinking of a couple questions, we'll take a few. Crap, I already forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, the 3-day workshop. I just wanted to mention that. You said if y'all weren't in it, then you missed out. We put, do we have all the information on the training page yet, Sam? We don't. It's still open though. The group is still open. So contact Samantha Oliver or Steph Aaron or me, and we'll get you in there. The post is still on the team page somewhere, and we're going to be getting all the info in the training page like ASAP too. So absolutely you can still have access to that. And she's right. It was amazing. Okay, Asia, I'm going to flip the screen back over to you. And can you see the questions or do I need to read them to you?
I can see them.
Okay, cool.
So Hannah asks, when you tag friends for thank yous, are you afraid that you could pull potentials from them in case they ever signed as an ambassador? No, not necessarily, because I haven't pulled a ton of potentials from those people. I've had people that I've tagged in that have eventually signed up as wholesale and then eventually started working the business. And they get a plenty enough market. So no, I'm not really afraid of that. And I've never had it's never been an issue.
Sam had a question right above that too.
Oh, what is your personal DM? What do you mean? Like my direct market?
Are you unmuting yourself, Sam? Oh, she typed.
Oh, daily method. I don't really have, like, from what I do when I wake up till I go to bed, I don't really have.
For Plexus. So like your daily method operations, what do you do to keep these potentials?
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I am very proactive with checking in with them even after like they join as my customer. A lot of the times I will be accountability partners with them. One of my ambassadors, Christina, she's on the chat right now. She signed up as a customer, and her and I were accountability partners all month last month. And that was something really good for me, but I really liked that it helped build our relationship even more. And then she signed up as a wholesale ambassador last month, at the end of last month, and she's actually doing the business now. She's going to be doing a silver focus group with me and my team. So, yeah. I'm just, I like I said, it's about just being proactive with actually being in that person's life. I know eventually it's going to be very hard if you start growing a big customer base, but it's definitely something to at least try doing because it is a big part of our business. Would unfollowing ambassadors lessen the support shown on Plexus posts? I have team members who keep my posts around because they see it and comment something sometimes. If they didn't see the post, they wouldn't circle around a lot. Actually, my team has a post bumping chat messenger. And so when we need a post bumped, we will comment in there saying, hey, can I get love on this post? And we'll post a screenshot. And then everybody will go to that person's page and show love on it. So you don't have to be following that person to be able to show love.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
So what I always tell my team is to, like, you have a couple of options. You can just unfollow most everyone. I say follow like your uplines, like your few direct uplines.
Oh yeah.
And then like a couple people that just inspire you, that you really enjoy, you like seeing their posts. And I suggest doing that because that draws inspiration. Like, ooh, I liked how they did that, whatever. And then I have like an adopted level one that she actually, you can go on Facebook and make like an alternate news feed. Like you can put all of the Plexus people that you like to follow in an alternate newsfeed that you can go and check. And it's not in your main newsfeed. Now, can I give you exact instructions on how to do that? Not exactly. I'd have to look at my computer, but it is possible. And then another option is just to write down people's names that you like to follow, like Hannah that you mentioned. And you can just go check their page daily, but they don't have to show up in your newsfeed. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, I guess I should have added that. Like I still follow Rachel. I follow Sam. I follow people that are people that I actually pull inspiration from. So yeah, I probably should have mentioned that. What I meant by unfollowing Plexus people is people that I don't really associate with. I still, follow some of the people. I follow my team. But as far as like other sidelines and some uplines that I don't associate with, I unfollow those people because they're not my market. But I follow Donna Lee, I follow Rachel, I follow Steph and Sam, just because those are people that do show inspiration to me. But yeah, so do you set a goal of a certain number of new people to reach out to each day? If so, how many are you trying to talk to each day? And are those all about Plexus or just building relationships? I never reach out to less than 15 people a day. Usually I can reach up to 25 people. I like talking to people. So that's just who I am. But if that's, something that you need to work on, I suggest, starting out with 5 one week and then adding 5 the next week and then adding 5 until you get to that number. But no, it's not always Plexus. I will reach out to somebody just to say hi and to build that relationship. And a lot of the times, because people follow my posts, they're the ones that bring Plexus up in the conversation, which makes talking about Plexus a lot easier because then I don't feel awkward bringing it up.
Hey, Asia.
Yeah.
When you say reaching out, can you clarify for people, does that mean you're just like, hey, you want to try Plexus, or what is reaching out to you?
No, reaching out to me would so I always get a lot of new friend requests on Facebook. I love, as soon as I get a friend request within a day or two, I love reaching out to them saying, hey, my name's Asia, I love getting to know new people. You don't have to say those exact things, but just say, hey, my inbox is always open. I love meeting new people. And I literally, those new people, I don't bring up Plexus to for a good while. I don't bring it up. We'll start talking. They're like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm at home watching Aladdin with my son, or I'm going to the park. What are you doing? I try to make, when I reach out to those people, I ask questions about them. I'm constantly asking about them because people are more receptive to me when I make them feel important. So whenever I reach out to people, it's trying to get to know them, and I'm constantly asking questions about them. And then usually if we build up a good enough relationship and we start talking about, oh, what do you do for a living? I'm always honest with them, but then I quickly, at Super Saturday this last year, one of the Diamonds was talking about, she met a doctor and he asked her, what do you do for a living? And she's like, oh, I, help people with their health and wellness goals. What do you do? She quickly turned it on him and allowed him to talk about himself. So when she got into more detail about what she did, he was a lot more receptive because he had already felt important to her. So that's something that I do when I reach out to people. I rarely ever bring Plexus up to new people. I build a strong relationship with them first, because I don't like being told no, to be honest. So I make sure that I establish a very good basis with them first before I even mention what I even do. They're going to see my posts. They're going to know what I do. So I don't really, once I get to know somebody, or if it's already somebody that I know, when I do reach out to them, it's never, hey, Plexus would be awesome for you. It's rebuilding that relationship and then slowly bringing Plexus in. And I've had a lot of success with that. But like I said, it also goes back to having trust within a relationship and having someone realize that you're genuinely reaching out and not just, hey, buy from me. What do you do if the convo dies? Sometimes I will just let it be. I don't push it. and I'll give it a while, and then I will start commenting on their posts, and then usually when I comment on their posts, they'll respond and stuff, and then it gives me a reason to reach back out to them, like, hey, your post today, like, that was crazy, like, I loved it, and it builds up a new conversation again. So definitely being active on their statuses are definitely going to give you a reason to reach out to them if ever that happens. I've had a few people reach out to me as well as reaching out to them, but the ones who reach out to me seem to ask and then say nothing else. So how long or how many posts that I share do you think it takes for them to be on board, or what can I do to talk to them more, starting things about plexus start talking about things that aren't plexus? Something that I noticed is that everybody is different. There's never going to be one good answer on how to respond to somebody, just because people respond to things differently. I would, like, my biggest advice for that is just keep posting. Even if you feel like nobody's watching, even if you feel like nobody is responding to your post, or when you reach out to them about your posts, keep posting, because trust me, they are watching. I had somebody reach out to me last month about a post that I made in September when I first started. Yeah. And she said that it had stuck with her and that she had kept following me, but that she was super, super skeptical. She has not been a customer yet, but she is, like, so much closer than she was when she first read that September post. So keep posting, because they are watching. And then you also said, what can you do to talk to them more? Get to know their interests. Like I said, ask them about themselves. Because most people that I know love talking about themselves. They love it when people want them to know more about them. So really just try to get to know them more, and, if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If not, then just let it be for a while and then try again.
I want to add something to that, sort of, is when I was talking to Jen Hawkins, I think like a week or 2 weeks ago, and she mentioned a book. I'm looking up in my notes now. It's called 25 Ways to Win with People, and it is by John Maxwell Obby, because he's amazing. But she says that she has the book on audio tape, and she just listens to it often. I actually ordered it a few days ago. It should be here. But it's great for those that communication isn't their strong suit. So, like, Asia, I know that's, like, your number one strength is communication, and it's my number two. So, like, I completely understand, like, what you're saying. You're like, oh, well, I just talked to them. And then, like,
I know.
I ask them questions about themselves. Like, it comes naturally. And, like, when I talk to other people about this, they're looking at me like, how do you do that? Like, wait, what? And my husband's the same way. Like, I was telling him to, like, make friends at, wherever. And he was just like, how? Like, I don't get how you do that. And so that's a really great book for everyone. Like, I'm sure that I'm going to learn a lot of things from it too. But for those that you find it a struggle, like, you're like, I don't even know what to say to people. Like, I don't know how to start these conversations that Asia's talking about. Get that book and get it on audiobook or whatever. Sometimes they'll have, like, free versions on YouTube if you don't want to buy it, like, whatever. So I just wanted to mention that, because I know that a lot of people, communication is not their strong suit. They're not, like, super extroverts. Not that really has anything to do with communicating with people, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring that book up because it was suggested, and it's a great one, I think, personally.
Something that would be good for people that have a hard time communicating is mock conversations between you and somebody that you're comfortable with. So me and Caitlin are always doing mock conversations between each other. It never goes the way we plan because we get off subject and we get, sidetracked. But I like to do this with some of my downlines who have a hard time, who reach out to me saying, hey, I don't know what to say to this person. I'm like, okay, well, let's do something really quick. What would you say to me? Or how would you, if I responded this way? Because my son is being a crazy person. But mock conversations with someone that you're comfortable with will definitely give you a feel of how you personally would talk to somebody, and you wouldn't feel pressured because you're not really talking to an actual customer, but it would give you an idea of how it would go. And doing those, pretty often will definitely build your confidence up too.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I think we'll probably stop there with questions, and I'm sure that if you have any more, you can ask me or Asia or whatever, and we'll get them answered. But thank you so much for hopping on tonight. I took a lot of notes. I absolutely loved it. And Asia, thank you. Like, I know I said it a million times earlier, but I really appreciate it and all your knowledge. But anyway, all right, you guys have a really great Thursday. I'll see you next week on our Zoom for recruiting without cold messaging, which is going to really tie into what we just all covered. So it's perfect. I'm really excited. But anyway, all right, I will be uploading this to YouTube so you guys can watch it back if you need to. But otherwise, I'll see you all soon. And thanks again, Asia. Bye.